Have you ever felt the shaking in your body? Like when you're just sitting and you can just kind of feel your body unravel a bit? That's what I think this conversation is about, is finding safety in our hashtag Truth Friday. Safety is, I think, a personal word. Like, we all have our definition of like how we feel, how we want to feel, what's the space we want to be in. And I never knew actually how to ask that, how to be in a space where I feel safe. I was so used to just listening to somebody and them saying things at me that would make me think I'm supposed to be there. Like, I would say, I don't want to go. And then somebody would say, oh, come on, go. You always say no, like all these kinds of things. And just all of a sudden pressures you into a situation where you end up having anxiety. And I remember when I was growing up, good morning. I remember when I was growing up, we would just, go, go, go. And I love going. I love exploring. But there's also times it's kind of overwhelming. And I felt like I just want to sit here and I want to be. And I started noticing that as an adult, that we were just going and going and going. And I felt so out of sorts, and I never really knew what was going on until I started getting quiet. And I started saying these words like, we need freedom, safety, and healing. Good morning, Stephanie. Stephanie, what do you think about safety? So the definition, like, I have these plaques that I created over the years. And what we're working with is the freedom, safety, and healing. We're working with the safety today. And I'm talking about this because I kind of hold space for a theme to like learn every couple of weeks. And I do this because I hold an energy activation group. But I think that if I have a theme and I give others themes also, that you can see what shows up, you can kind of learn, you kind of hold the space. But my definition is the foundation of freedom, expression, and healing. Like the expression of what you want, to allow ourselves to be just, like, for me to be me, for you to be you, and to stop taking control over what somebody should do. I'm learning this so much with having a husband and for 27 years and starting to understand myself. I could just leave the relationship because I want control and I want it this way, and this is the way I want you to act, this is the way I want you to do. But what I'm starting to learn is what a partner is. And I don't know about for you, but a couple days ago I interviewed Jola Cruz. And Jola Cruz was talking about, and you would have seen probably a post in our group, the Fresh Talks Global Vision. We were talking about marriage, we were talking about business, we were talking about like healing in the space of just feeling like a victim and blaming somebody else for something that we're going through. I thought that was kind of normal. Like, if you don't see what I need, then I'm a victim and it's all your fault. I don't think that anymore, but it's hard to shift because I would say about 10 years ago when I started doing this deeper work. Tell me what you think about this, because as I go with this, I'm thinking this really isn't just a dialogue. This actually is something that I think can make us all feel really, really good when we start looking at these things. But if I think that everything I see is truth through my eyes, that I can really be very harsh to be with. And I could be upset all the time. About 2 years ago, I separated from a relationship that was so difficult, and it's still very difficult for me. My conversation was, I'm not feeling good. Please tell me if you've had those conversations before. I'm not feeling good. I'm throwing up. And that's like, when I throw up, that means I'm at my peak of stress. Like, I can't be with this person until I figure out, like how to communicate with this person and this stuff. And I was trying to be as truthful as possible. But I also know I'm trying to learn how to build boundaries so that I understand how to show up for that person also, that I'm not mean to them, because, I talk a lot about heart, but I was actually going through some stuff where I wasn't being very nice. I was so upset about being with this person that I was being harsh towards them. And so, a few months later, I got back with them and I just said, I want to try and figure out how this works because I don't want to be harsh on you anymore. And I don't want to do that to anybody. And I recognize how I was showing up. That's not okay. Anybody else getting any ideas around that? And if we're expecting safety around us, then that really means that we're asking for us to show up and be nice to others also. I think about this in business. I'll have clients, for example. I have clients that just don't want to move as fast as I think I can, create and energize them and move them forward in this vision. And we can get all caught up with our personal conversations or in business. We're working with clients and we can be so harsh on them and think they're not a great client. But if we look at the overall picture, you see them moving, but you see they're starting to make bigger goals, but maybe they slow down and all of a sudden you're just like really brass with them to like hold the safe space, but also, trying to get them moving when they're like, it'll make them feel even more stubborn. Can we figure out together, I do this every Friday, well, I try to most Fridays. How can we build safety for ourselves, reflect how we're treating people that are even in our personal space, that we know, like husband or mom or, kids or whatever, cousins, sisters, whatever. But we learn to be gentle even though we're so angry. This is what's going to unclog so many things. But it's going to feel vulnerable and we're going to feel a lot of pain and frustration, but isn't that what elevates us? What do you think about that? This mindset stuff, which I call mindset transformation entertainment, when we can have these conversations, we seriously get entertained. And we can start laughing and relaxing and starting to see things differently in just like, this is the way I want to go. I'm going this way. Get out of my way. But that brassiness is what we see a lot in this world. I call it hashtag speaker locking arms. This is a movement I've been doing, and I'm learning so much from this. I'm trying to love as much as I can, even if somebody does something towards me that I think is somebody coming at me, like, how dare you, don't do that. But learning to use words that can be real powerful. Me having this show, Fresh Talks Global Vision, I get to talk to so many people. I get to learn from all of you. And it's magical. I think podcasts are really important. We are launching podcasts. We have something coming up mid-September. But my podcast has changed my life. I would not have been able to talk to you and have these great conversations and interview where I get to hear what you're saying, but I also feel the question I want to ask you. Because all of this I really care about. Is this something you care about? What are you going through? What are you working through? Right now, I'm working through just having a clear mind, understanding myself. If somebody reacts to me, that I take a step back and I try and communicate the best that I can. What do you do in those situations when you want to be brass towards somebody? You want to tell them what to do because you can see it all there right in front of them, but they're not moving forward. I care about what you think. In Truth Friday, I try and breed things that could potentially make things move so big. If we keep moving things big, just like things that are in our way, these walls, can we make it so that we have boundaries, but we can breathe, we feel freedom. And the safety is about bringing freedom. It's about expressing yourself. And if we keep healing, then it doesn't matter what people say to us, we keep learning on our side. And the more that we keep learning, the more we become the kid that we always have been. That's what we're healing from, but we are really going on this adventure. I woke up this morning and I thought about how small my world is. I'm like, okay, so I live on 5 acres. I have some great kitty cats. They're so loving. They live on our land. I have 2 great dogs. I have 2 goats. And I'm like, but I still feel small because I have this thing. I want to open up the voice and I want to stop the blaming and shaming. And if I just am thinking here and just here, but not open, I'm still thinking too small. And I thought about this morning. When do you feel small? You know, you already have a podcast and you're like, I'm not getting out there big enough because maybe we're not sharing in the love and the joy of being with people. And that's what I do in the podcast launch. I want to know what your words are, how you express yourself, so that we can share with others. Not just market to them, but really love on people. And not that we're just selling something, and so we need to get it out there, we need to get it out there, we need to get it out there. The right people are going to get it if we just kind of take the control out of it. We increase our vitality by taking naps, by stepping away from the computer, by stretching, meditating, by talking to people, all of that. I got a lot on my mind. How about you? I feel like that happens every day, though. Hi, Oliver. Oliver's here. He's holding space for us. He does a very good job of that, by the way. So what are you thinking about today? What are the things that you really care about? I am here to listen. I'm here to open up voices. I am here to stop the blaming and shaming. And I will never do that alone. I tried to. I've been doing hashtag Speaker Locking Arms forever. And now I'm talking to more people, and now I have a board together, and we are just starting to do virtual events, and we're going to be in San Francisco in 2026. 5 years or sooner, they tell me it might even be sooner. Venice, Italy. And in between that, we're going to create this energy so that we bring enough income in so that we can travel and do this. And then we can also watch others grow, and we can speak about this human experience. I want you to be able to make plenty of money. I want you to come and be involved. I want you to share what your joy is and what your biggest commitment is. I know that's why I'm here. I don't think that's going to change. But if I still feel small where I'm just here in our group, but I'm not going to do anything after and talk to my newsletter and talk to people about it, even talk to the community that I bring together, that this is what we're talking about. Like talking, because words are very important. That's why I put all these words on this plaque. They just look like words. But when you start looking at what they mean, I mean, if we really had safety in our life, what the effing would happen? You'd go into every room, being, smiling. Somebody could look at you like, you're crazy. And you go, hi. Keep on walking. Shield yourself. Go into communities that you feel energetically guided into. Not the ones that it's so hard to get in there. It feels uncomfortable. But sometimes you have to wonder if you're uncomfortable because maybe it's your growth. Maybe it's like, okay, I'm calling myself out. I need some more growth. But I want to hear from you. I care about your voice. Mid-September, we are building digital branding for you. We're building all this love. How can we work together as partners? I've been doing podcasts for 8 years. I want our voice to just be out there. Is it that you need to recalibrate where you may already have a podcast, but you're like, I need to do something different, but I don't know what it is. I want to bring that into infusing into the energy of this so that we lock arms and we get out there fabulously. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. That's sign language. Mwah. Keep opening your voice. Listen when you are blaming and shaming somebody because they're not doing what you want them to do. I'm learning. And make sure that we stop the blaming and shaming. When somebody feels uncomfortable and you can actually see them feeling in their feelings, give them a big smile. Tell them you love them because I love you. Let's keep bringing that love around. Namaste.